Gachiakuta Episode 6, titled One Good Strike, or It's a Hit, plunges viewers deeper into the gritty underbelly of its dystopian world, where the divide between the opulent sphere and the trash-filled abyss fuels unrelenting conflict. The episode picks up from the previous cliffhanger, revealing that the cleaner's latest job was a meticulously orchestrated trap by the Vandals, also known as Raiders, with their sights set squarely on Rudo, the protagonist exiled from a heavenly sphere. As a group comprising Rudo, the steadfast supporter Gris, the promising newcomer Follow, and the combat-savvy Zanka scrambles to escape an abandoned, polluted urban labyrinth, tension mounts with every echoing footstep. Zanka heroically stays behind to hold off two raiders, buying time for the others, but his fate hangs ominously in the balance after being poisoned, as later disclosed. Key moments revolve around a brutal ambush that forces Rudo to confront his inner demons and untapped potential. While searching for an emergency exit, the trio encounters Jabber Wongar, an eccentric and sadistic raider with claw-like vital instruments Jinki that transform his hands into deadly weapons. Jabber, who casually admits to neutralizing Zanka, destroys their escape route and launches a vicious assault, dismissing the supporters as nobodies unworthy of life. In a heart-wrenching sequence, Gris shields Rudo and takes a fatal stab, his amulet clattering to the ground. This act triggers a poignant flashback for Rudo, transporting him back to his childhood with his foster father, Victor. In these tender scenes, Victor helps a young, self-loathing Rudo discover his affinity for savaging discarded items, teaching him to find inherent value in what others deem worthless, a metaphor that mirrors Rudo's own journey from outcast to potential hero. Empowered by this realization, Rudo activates Gris's amulet Jinki, which manifests as a protective force field that imagines safety, causing Jabber's attacks to miss by subtly redirecting the assailant himself. The climax builds to an intense brawl where Rudo, fueled by rage and newfound resolve, vows to pummel Jabber with his bare fist while the amulet ensures no harm befalls his allies. Follow desperately tends to Gris's wounds, adding emotional stakes, while Jabber's taunts highlight his twisted admiration for strong-willed fighters. Characters shine through the dynamics. Rudo evolves from doubtful to defiant, Gris embodies selfless loyalty, Follow represents raw potential amid chaos, and Jabber serves as a charismatic yet vile antagonist whose eccentricity masks lethal intent. The atmosphere is a potent blend of claustrophobic dread in the decaying ruins, raw emotional vulnerability in the flashback, and exhilarating empowerment during the fight, underscoring themes of worth, redemption, and rebellion against societal discard. Studio Bones delivers a visually compelling adaptation in Episode 6, leveraging their expertise in fluid action sequences to elevate the manga's raw, angular art style into a dynamic spectacle. The animation shines brightest in the combat scenes, where Jabber's claw transformations are rendered with sharp, kinetic energy. Each swipe and dodge feels weighty and visceral, thanks to precise keyframing and smooth transitions that capture the manga's hard edge shading and exaggerated proportions. The polluted urban backdrop, filled with towering trash heaps and crumbling structures, is richly detailed, creating an immersive sense of decay that enhances the episode's gritty tone. Color palettes shift masterfully, muted grays and browns dominate the tense escape, giving way to warmer hues and Rudo's flashback for emotional contrast, while vibrant glows accompany Jinki activations symbolizing awakening power. Character animation is expressive and consistent, with Rudo's facial shifts from despair to determination conveying deep internal growth without over-reliance on exposition. The flashback sequences are handled with subtle fluidity, blending seamless transitions that avoid disrupting the pace. However, there are minor shortcomings. Some CGI elements in Jabber's claw extensions occasionally feel stiff compared to the hand-drawn fluidity of close-quarters brawls, potentially detracting from immersion in wider shots. Pacing in the action could benefit from tighter editing to heighten urgency, as a few extended dodges risk feeling repetitive. Overall, the animation balances high-octane spectacle with character-driven subtlety, making Episode 6 a standard in visual storytelling, though it doesn't quite reach the flawless polish of Bones' top-tier works like My Hero Academia. Gachiakuta Episode 6 marks a pivotal turning point, blending heart-pounding action with profound character development to solidify the series' appeal as a fresh take on shonen tropes. Rudo's growth feels earned and resonant, transforming him from a reactive underdog into a proactive force, while the episode's exploration of value and discard adds philosophical depth without sacrificing excitement. It's a gripping installment that rewards patient viewers with emotional payoffs and sets up intriguing conflicts, like the Vandals' broader agenda and Zanka's uncertain survival. That said, the reliance on flashbacks risks becoming formulaic if overused in future episodes, and Jabber's villainy, while entertaining, could use more nuance to avoid caricature. Nonetheless, the balance of praiseworthy empowerment and constructive tension keeps the narrative engaging. Looking ahead, I expect the series to ramp up its world-building, delving deeper into the abyss's lore and Rudo's Jinki mastery, potentially evolving into a must-watch for fans of dystopian and revenge tales. With Studio Bones at the helm, Gachiakuta has the potential to redefine underdog stories, provided it maintains this momentum. Episode 6 certainly leaves me optimistic and eager for more.